request for a photo opportunity from the signatories on behalf of the two countries. So just a recap of the three documents that have been signed. The first that was signed was a joint communique on the occasion of the official visit to the Republic of Kenya by His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chapo, President of the Republic of Mozambique. The second is minutes of the third session of the Kenya-Mozambique Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation, and the third being an MOU on diplomatic training, research and capacity building. The objective of the MOU being to enhance cooperation in diplomatic training, activities in foreign policy, research and analysis, and exchange of information and publications between the two parties based on reciprocity and mutual benefit between the two republics. At this point, we'll now ask the signatories to stand for a photo opportunity displaying the agreement. All right, display the Thank you. I'll request that Her Excellency Ambassador Maria Manuela dos Santos maintain her position while I call on Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, who is the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Interior and National Administration, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya. The MOU they're about to sign is on cooperation in the field of penitentiary correctional services. The objective of this memorandum of understanding is to establish a framework for cooperation between the parties on how best to improve services, standards, and correlation, institutions, and related issues. Again, the objective of this memorandum of understanding is to establish a framework for cooperation between the parties on how best to improve service, standards, and correctional, institutional, and related issues. Again, once the document is signed, we'll have a photo opportunity between the two signatories as they display the documents, after which they'll shake hands and exchange as we also get a photo opportunity for that. And at this point, we'll now request the two signatories to stand up and display the document. Oh. We'll request that the two signatories stand up and display the documents first. Display the documents. to the All right, thank you very much. You may take your seats back. Then we'll, at this point, allow me to invite Honorable Salim Vuria, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy, Sports, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya, and Mr. Basilio Zephanias Mohate, Minister of Economy, on behalf of the Republic of Mozambique. The MOU they're just about to sign is on cooperation on the field of youth affairs and sports. The objective of the MOU is to facilitate mutual understanding and cooperation between the parties in the field of youth development and sports, consolidated bilateral relations between the parties. Again, the objective of this MOU is to facilitate mutual understanding and cooperation between the parties in the field of youth development and sports, and consolidate bilateral relations between the two parties. They'll exchange the documents and have each sign again. The MOU on cooperation in the field of youth affairs and sports, which is to facilitate mutual understanding and cooperation between the parties in the field of youth development and sports, and consolidate bilateral relations between the parties. We'll then now stand for a photo opportunity, display, a handshake, then display, each holding. Fantastic. Thank you. That brings us to the end of the signing ceremony. Your Excellencies, with your permission, will now usher you to progress with a joint press statement. That brings us to the end of the signing ceremony, so we may progress to the joint press statement. Welcome, Your Excellencies.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President Daniel Francisco Chapo, President of Mozambique, distinguished officials, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to once again warmly welcome my brother, the President of Mozambique, and his delegation to the Republic of Kenya. We are particularly grateful for his presence as the chief guest of the 4th International Investment Conference. And Mr. President, I want to, in a very special way, thank you for honoring my invitation to participate in this very important conference where we signed investments into Kenya worth $3 billion in 10 counties in Kenya, from Bungoma to Uasin Gishu to Kericho, Nakuru, Nairobi, Kiambu, Tana River, and Mombasa. Your participation in this conference, Mr. President, has increased foreign direct investment that is going to come into our country. Many investors from close to 10 countries, investors from India, investors from Australia, from the United States, from United Kingdom, from China, and also local investors did participate and signed into agreements that will cause investment in the Republic of Kenya. The visit, Your Excellency, reflects our shared commitment to further deepening the strong bilateral relations between our two countries and affirms Mozambique's central role as a strategic partner for Kenya in Southern Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, our founding fathers envisioned a continent anchored on Pan-African solidarity and collective advancement. Today, that vision is more critical than ever. The rise in protectionism, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, the lingering effects of COVID-19 pandemic, and the conflict in the Middle East underscore the urgent need for Africa to strengthen unity and accelerate regional integration to better shield our economies and societies from external shocks. The bilateral talks we have just concluded focused on advancing this shared vision. We reaffirmed the strong and cordial ties between our two countries, further reinforcing and reinforced by successful convening of the third session of the Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation held ahead of this visit by our two teams. The session enabled us to review progress in implementing agreed outcomes, address challenges encountered, and identify practical measures to enhance the effectiveness of our cooperation. As a tangible outcome of this engagement, we have today signed 3 memoranda of understanding in key sectors: MOU on diplomatic training, research and capacity building, covering training, exchange programs and research; MOU on penitentiary and prison services aimed at improving standards in correctional services; and MOU in cooperation in youth and sports, focusing on youth development and sports collaboration. These agreements mark an important milestone in our bilateral relations and provide a strong framework for deepening cooperation. We agreed to ensure their timely and effective implementation so that our peoples derive maximum benefit from this partnership. On trade and economic cooperation, we welcome the steady progress made and the strong opportunities for further expansion and diversification of our trade. We identified key areas of growth, including pharmaceuticals, tea, edible oils, cosmetics, industrial products, agro-processing, areas to do with energy, especially in oil and gas, areas in agriculture, especially the competitive advantage Kenya has, which we are ready to share with our friends and brothers in Mozambique, in horticulture, areas of importance in business. The president here informed me about the big business community from Kenya that is in Mozambique and the relations and the enterprise that they are undertaking, contributing to the economy of Mozambique, and the need for us to build even stronger relations between us, connecting the port of Mombasa with the port of Beira, and looking at opportunities in the exploitation of coal and the use of that in Kenya, especially for our cement factories, and all the other areas of cooperation, including the flights, Kenya Airways flights to Nampula in northern Mozambique, and the need to extend that and to reconnect the city of Maputo and the city of Nairobi. To advance this, we agreed to strengthen business linkages through participation in trade fairs and exhibitions, just like the one the President came to yesterday, enhance engagement through the Kenya-Mozambique Business Forum, and address tariff and non-tariff barriers to unlock greater trade flows and promote mutually beneficial growth. Tourism also featured prominently in our discussions as a key driver of economic growth, job creation, and cultural exchange. We identified opportunities for collaboration in joint destination marketing, the development of integrated coastal and safari tourism circuits, and the promotion of intra-African travel. By strengthening cooperation between our tourism institutions and the private sector, we aim to increase visitor flows, diversify our tourism markets, and offer richer and more compelling travel experience across our region. Equally important is energy cooperation, as I said, which remains central to advancing sustainable development and inclusive growth in our two countries. We recognized the strong complementarities between our economies, particularly Mozambique's natural gas and coal resources, and Kenya's growing energy needs, as well as our continued progress in clean energy, from geothermal to wind, solar, hydro, and now going into nuclear. To support this, we agreed to promote partnerships in energy development, including opportunities in natural gas, while also strengthening collaboration in renewable energy to support reliable, sustainable, and diversified energy mix in both our grids in Kenya and in Mozambique. We also highlighted the critical role of aviation as a key enabler of trade, tourism, and people-to-people connectivity. We acknowledge the importance of existing air links and agreed to explore practical measures to further expand productivity and connectivity, including enhancing routes and frequencies to better support growing demand by our business and citizens in our two countries. Beyond this, we discussed the vast potential of our maritime and blue economy sectors, given our extensive coastlines along the Indian Ocean. These resources present significant opportunities for sustainable development, trade expansion, and socio-economic transformation. Building on this, we agreed to explore stronger cooperation between the Port of Mombasa and the Mozambican ports to support the development of an integrated East-Southern Africa logistics corridor. This will enhance regional connectivity, reduce trade costs and delays, and support industrialization and export growth. We further committed to promoting the sustainable utilization of our ocean resources, including through cooperation in fisheries, maritime security, and the broader blue economy to drive inclusive growth and long-term prosperity. To ensure that the areas of cooperation we have identified translate into concrete results, we directed the ministers responsible for energy, tourism, trade and commerce, transport and logistics, and the digital economy to meet within the shortest time possible to agree on clear modalities for implementation and deliver tangible outcomes. Our discussions also addressed the threat of terrorism, which continues to pose serious social, economic, and human costs. We emphasize the importance of strengthening cooperation, including intelligence sharing and coordinated counter-terrorism measures to safeguard our peoples and promote peace and stability in our region. Accordingly, we reaffirmed our commitment to working together as well as with regional and international partners to enhance efforts aimed at preventing and combating terrorism. We also recognize the potential of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and the tripartite free trade agreement in advancing our shared development priorities under the Africa Union Agenda 2063, strengthening regional integration and promoting inclusive economic growth. We further exchanged views on ongoing Africa Union institutional reforms and reaffirmed our commitment to enhancing the efficiency, effectiveness, and responsiveness of the African Union, while underscoring the importance of continued collaboration among member states, including Kenya's role as the champion of this agenda. More broadly, we underscore the importance of the rules-based international order in addressing global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and conflicts, and reaffirmed our commitment to multilateral cooperation. Finally, let me once again thank my brother, President Chapo, for his visit to Kenya. He did inform me that yesterday in the evening he had a wonderful evening with the diaspora of Mozambique in Kenya, including our own citizens, the Makonde, who now, Mr. President, are Kenyans. So you can only meet with them because they are now Kenyans. They are now our people. Although they share the same heritage and language with the people in Mozambique, they are our people. And I am very happy that you enjoyed the evening with them, and to the diaspora from your country, including students who are in our universities and other citizens who are doing business, citizens of your great country who are contributing to the development of our country. I'm also very happy to share experiences with you, with your visit to Konza city, where we are undertaking the development of a smart city that is going to have shared services. It is a city that we are very proud of, and as I informed you earlier, we will be giving charter to the university in Konza City, a university that is going to be a Pan-African university, a university that is going to undertake master's courses and PhD courses with the aim of reaching to as many African countries as possible, because we want to make it a Pan-African university. And Mr. President, again, as I said, you can count on Kenya's support. Your delegation has been phenomenal, and we have engaged in a very constructive manner. And I look forward to remaining committed to working closely with Mozambique to deepen our cooperation and advance our shared aspirations for peace, stability, progress, and prosperity. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother, Mr. President William Ruto. Sua Excelência, Dr. William Samuel Ruto, República do Quênia. Sua Excelência, Dr. Musalia Davane, Primeiro Secretário do Gabinete, Secretário do Gabinete dos Estrangeiros da Diáspora da República do Quênia. Sua Excelência, Sr. Vice-Presidente, Sua Excelência Maria Manuela dos Santos Lucas, Ministra de Negócios Estrangeiros da República de Moçambique, distintos membros dos governos das repúblicas do Quênia e de Moçambique, aqui presentes, caros amigos da comunicação social, minhas senhoras e meus senhores. Queremos, em primeiro lugar, expressar o nosso agradecimento à Sua Excelência Dr. William Ruto, Presidente da República do Quênia, pelo convite honroso que nos foi formulado para efetuar esta visita de trabalho a este país irmão. Nós temos excelentes relações e relações históricas. Agradecemos também pela forma cordial em que a visita decorreu durante estes 2 dias, a calorosa hospitalidade que nos fora proporcionada durante a nossa estadia neste belo país. A visita que vamos terminar dentro as nossas relações de amizade e cooperação, Sr. Presidente, e aprofundar a amizade, fraternidade entre os nossos 2 povos irmãos, para além de permitir a avaliação conjunta do estágio da nossa cooperação, feita através da 3ª sessão da Comissão Mista Moçambique e Quênia. Durante a visita,
we participated as guest of honors in the 4th Kenyan International Investment Conference, at which the economic potential and business opportunities in Kenya and Mozambique were highlighted to international investors. I would like to use this opportunity, Your Excellency, to congratulate you, the government of the Republic of Kenya, the people of Kenya, for the success of the conference. The conference that for us served as an experience exchange so that us as both countries could continue promoting the potential of our countries and promoting investments for our countries. That's the only way we can attract capital for our people, employment for the young people, and also salaries for the population of Kenya and Mozambique, so that we can have food at the table of every Mozambican people and have better living conditions for our population. The testimonies given by various investors at the conference clearly indicated that the governments and the private sector are strategic partners, and we should consult one another to improve the business environment, attracting more capital for investment in key sectors for the economic development and creating of more jobs for young people. The conference was clear, and it was clear that the areas that we need to cooperate are the ones that you also mentioned. We need to cooperate in the area of culture, transportation, logistics, tourism, and in the digital transformation. And it was also good to visit the smart city, which is a wonderful bet from Kenya for the future, not only from Kenya but also from the African continent. I would like at this moment, Your Excellency, to once again congratulate you, congratulate your government, and congratulate the people of Kenya. Your Excellency, the conference was also provided valuable insights talking about the implementation of macroeconomic policies which can be adapted to suit the specific circumstance of each country. The Republic of Kenya, occupying a prominent position in terms of global human capital in the world, represents an asset in attracting investment, which is an example to follow. In the bilateral context, Mozambique and Kenya have already signed a total of 20 legal instruments during all these years, and they are being fully implemented with tangible results in various sectors such as politics, diplomacy, defense and security, migration, transportation, amongst other areas. That's why, Your Excellency, we would like to congratulate you for the ongoing student exchange programs, which are paramount importance for the development of human capital. In this regard, Mozambique has around 65 students in various Kenyan universities, 5 cadets at the Kenyan Military Academy, whilst Kenya had 6 students in Mozambique, of which 5 are completing the master's degree and the other one is completing the PhD in Mozambique. For us, this exchange of students is drafting the future for our countries and the future of our people. In the transportation sector, in addition to the existing airline between the two countries, where we have 5 weekly flights from Nairobi to Nampula, the driving license are also mutually recognized. So a Kenyan person can go to Mozambique, drive freely, and a Mozambican can also come to Kenya and drive freely. So the Mozambican police has no reasons to forbid a Kenyan person drive in Mozambique, and the Kenyan police have no reasons to stop Mozambican drivers. So this shows the friendship, brotherhood, and existing relationship between our countries. And this is a good milestone that makes the life of our citizens easier. Yesterday, we met the community, the Mozambican community in Kenya, and they have said, President Chapo, we in Kenya, we feel at home, and we have the same situation of our brothers from Kenya that are in Mozambique. They make business, they make their life as if they are in Kenya whilst in Mozambique. Today, as witness, we have signed 3 legal instruments: Memorandum of Understanding for Cooperation in the Field of Youth and Sports. And as I said, Your Excellency, it is our intention have scholarships for the young people in the sector of sports from Mozambique to Kenya and from Kenya to Mozambique. And us, as Mozambican people, one of the things that we appreciate in Kenya is the existence of athletes in the Olympic matches, in the World Games, that are a world reference. And I was also told that most of the athletes that are stars at the Olympics, most of the runners from Kenya that are successful, they come from the area where you were born, Your Excellency. So once again, I would like to say that if I have my brother here, by me, I have the secret about how to train people to run for Mozambique, and they should be trained in Kenya. That's why I would like to say that for us, this is very important. We would like to have runners, Mozambican runners, and they need to come and learn here in Kenya. I also want to say that it's not possible to be successful in athleticism or in any other area without discipline. Discipline is the secret for success. And the Kenyan athletes, they show that they have discipline in all the aspects to be successful. So what we want to learn from you, the discipline in the exchange of experience, so that we can also reach this success, not only in this area, but in other areas that require discipline. But the sports is one of the areas that requires discipline, and we think this is very important. We also signed an MOU in the field of prison and correctional services, and another MOU for diplomatic training, research, and capacity building. These 3 instruments will inject a greater dynamism into this respective sector, capitalizing on the experience accumulated in the 2 countries. For that reason, Your Excellency, we want to reiterate once again that we want to have the flight between Nairobi and Maputo that we had in the past. We want to have the connectivity between our capitals. This is very important for the development of business, but also have the relationships that we have between Kenya and Maputo, or between Nairobi and Maputo in Kenya and Mozambique. The fight against terrorism, we have agreed to fight where the sectors are going to establish the best way to implement the understanding reaching. So we want to express our delight at the results achieved in our deliberations and express our confidence in the strengthening of our bilateral relations, constantly improving the way we do things to achieve different results with significant impact in the lives of the people of both countries, which is the main objective of our both delegation. We therefore would like to conclude reiterating that we are returning to Mozambique with the feeling that the visit has raised the standards of our relations, Your Excellency. And we wish, once again, to extend our invitation to His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto to visit Mozambique so that we can continue to work together for the good of our country and our brotherly people. I know 2 years back you were in Maputo. You got the key to Maputo, and you are also Mozambican. You are a citizen of Maputo, and we are ready to host you. We want to work to develop both countries, develop our friendship for the well-being of our two people. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your agree, and I concur that the last time I was in Mozambique, I was given the keys, and I have it with me, for Maputo by the mayor.
Yes.
And he also signed for me a small certificate to be a citizen of Mozambique. So I will make use of my citizenship and the key when I come back.
Yes.
We appreciate that, as you said, the solid relationship between our two countries. You have people, the Makonde people, and many others who are doing business, taking advantage of our learning institutions in Kenya. You had a great moment with them last evening. And in the process of your visit to Kenya, you also found a brother of yours right here with the same height. Who serves in, and we were also told earlier, Mr. President, as you know, that in our midst we have Wangeshi from Muranga, your minister for Madame Dos Santos. She said she's Kenyan also from Muranga, and we found also your minister for Mr. Mohati is from Kakamega. We have many people using his name in a place called Kakamega.
Yes.
So we have a beautiful convergence there of many things. My minister for sports will tell you, while it is true that a majority of the runners come from the part of the country that I come from.
Yes.
And you have asked for the secret of how they do well. I can tell you, because I come from that region.
Yes.
First, as you say, they are very disciplined. They wake up early at 4 a.m. in the morning to run. They control what they eat, and they also use the gym. So those are the basics of how to. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's take some. There's another big debate in Kenya. Which
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So with your,
So we can take some one or two questions.
we have two questions, Your Excellencies, and I'll request that we do them back to back. Remember to say your name, the media house you represent, and keep the question as short and crisp as possible.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, my name is Melita Oletenges for Citizen TV. Mr. President, you've spoken to the global supply disruption by the war in the Middle East. Perhaps my question is, what alternatives is Kenya looking at in terms of avoiding the overdependence of these countries in the global markets that we particularly rely on for our exports and imports? Flowers have suffered a blow, coffee, tea, and now oil. Perhaps if you can speak to that. And President Chapo, my question to you is, Mozambique emerging as a key player in the gas industry, 100 million rather cubic discovered in Romvi region, I think. Is this now an opportunity for you to rise to the occasion and offer an alternative to the continent? Thank you.
Your Excellencies, my name is Giverson Minor from KBC. And my question is, owing to the fact that Kenya and even Mozambique, the population is youthful, and it forms bigger chunk of the population, and about close to 1 million young people graduate from TVETs and colleges and universities annually. What can the two countries, or in which areas of collaboration can the two countries partner to ensure or to exploit opportunities for the Kenyan youth and of course the youth in Mozambique? And my second to President Chapo, there's a lot of activities in matter of terrorism in Mozambique. The countries helping you, including Rwanda and other countries. This is one of the areas that President William Ruto will tell you we are expertise in this. We're helping Haiti, we're helping Somalia to have peace. Do you think this is one of the areas maybe you could consider to request Kenya for assistance? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for the questions that have been asked. I will, on matters to do with fuel and our oil supplies, Minister Opiyo Wandayi already engaged with all the stakeholders in the fuel industry. We are already seized of that matter. There's been consultations, not just within Kenya, but also as a region. We've discussed with the regional partners on the interventions necessary for us to forestall any serious effects. The challenge of the Middle East crisis is going to pose to our economies, both in terms of fuel supply, commodity supply, which is a reality because of the challenges of logistics and transport across the Strait of Hormuz and the attendant changes of routes, increase in insurance, and many other attendant issues. We are working as a government to see how to mitigate and reduce the effects of the challenge we have in the Middle East. We have also been very clear to our oil marketers and those who have storage capabilities that government of Kenya is not going to entertain any artificial shortages that are meant to benefit profiteers. We are going to be very careful working with all the stakeholders to make sure that every participant works with the conditions of their licensing to make sure that we don't exacerbate or accelerate the negative effects, but instead we work together to mitigate and minimize the effects. I have tasked the Ministry of Energy to take the lead to work with all our suppliers, to work with the oil producers that are supplying us, and to find, if necessary, alternative sources that would mitigate any shortages. So far, we have made very good progress, and we will continue to monitor the situation, and hopefully through dialogue and other interventions, the war in the Middle East hopefully will de-escalate and come to an end as soon as possible, because otherwise it will continue to have negative effects on our economy, the regional economy, and the global economy as well. On the subject of young people, it is true that just like Mozambique, Kenya has a youthful population. It is very important that whatever it is that we do, we plan for interventions that target young people, that target our students leaving college, those leaving our TVETs, those leaving school. And that is why we are looking at how to grow our economies. The presence of His Excellency the President in our meeting yesterday was part of that plan of making sure that we increase investment into our country so that we can grow more enterprises, we expand our economy, be able to generate more jobs. Just yesterday, the investment of close to $3 billion, as was said, is going to generate 63,000 jobs over the next 2 years, adding on to all the other interventions that we have as an administration, the intervention of growing jobs using our digital ecosystem. We already have grown 300,000 jobs in that space. We are targeting 1 million jobs in the next 1 year. We've grown additional jobs in our overseas jobs program. Already 500,000 plus young people are working in overseas companies. Again, we have interventions on how to grow the pie there. We are working on public infrastructure, housing, markets, hostels, roads. Again, we have employed close to 700,000 young people in that space. We continue to do what is necessary for us to expand opportunities. When the President and I here said we are going to mobilize our officials to make sure that this visit comes up with tangible results in tourism, in agriculture, in energy. It is towards making sure that we build a much more resilient economy, build greater opportunities, grow our economies, and expand job opportunities and other opportunities for our businessmen and our young people. Also, the discussions we've had on the opportunities of gas in Mozambique will go also a long way in mitigating the effects of the conflicts that you have on our supply chain. The distance between Beira and Mombasa is just 24 hours. So that if we could unlock the gas potential in Mozambique, it would go a long way in making sure that our supply of energy products, including gas, would be much more predictable and much more cost-effective. So that is why visits like this are not just visits. They are opportunities for us to create more opportunity, to create more relationship that would benefit citizens in many aspects. So I think this is what I want to say. Mr. President, please proceed.
Thank you. I will do my speech, or I will give my answer in Portuguese.
First and foremost, about gas. We are indeed at this moment. We have gas in Rovuma Basin. We've got 4 main projects. The first project is with ENI. And it's currently ongoing. We call it Coral South, as around $7 billion of investment. Last year, we have signed the definitive decision of investment of a project with ENI with around $7 billion. So the 2 projects of Eni, the Italian, have around $15 billion. Last year, with Total, we have restarted the project that had stopped because of terrorism in Cabo Delgado. And at the end of February, we were in Cabo Delgado province to relaunch the project. It has around $15 billion. And currently, we are working with Exxon. Total is a French company, leader of the 3rd project. And we are also working with Exxon, which is an American company. If everything goes well by July or August, we are going to sign the definitive investment decision for Exxon with around $20 billion. So we are talking in the next 10 years of investments around $50 to $60 billion in the area of gas in Mozambique. But it's important to explain that in all these projects, we do have our national company for hydrocarbons. We call it ENH. They have participation in all these projects. For that reason, we have a lot of we will move to the top 5 of gas producers. And this gas will be used domestically, as you all know. The gas is kind of raw material for the production of fertilizers, construction of power stations. For that reason, with His Excellency William Ruto, we were saying that our domestic gas is going to industrialize Mozambique, but it can also be exported. And in this process of exportation, our countries, the African countries and sister countries, they need to take advantage of
Kenya, como original, devido a trabalhar conosco, nós temos as maiores de carvão e por causa disso sabemos que Kenya tem fábrica de cimento que usa o carvão.
That use coal. We've been in Mozambique with Kenyan investors that are interested in the importation of Mozambican coal to Kenya.
E, como disse o presidente William Ruto, entre o Porto da
São 24 horas. E temos também o gás, que nós estamos com projeto de produção de pipelines. Também estava a dizer que o Porto da Beira, como um dos pontos
Port as one of the points for the construction of pipelines for the exploitation of gas, and also from Cabo Delgado province. So we think that Kenya is a sister country, and this gas can also be exported from Mozambique to Kenya, and bringing advantage for our sister country and the people of Kenya. So we see Mozambique, going straight to your question from the press, we see Mozambique as an alternative, yes, for gas at a global level, but also for the continent, the African continent, and especially for our sister countries, for the development of our economies, and have better life conditions for our people. In the youth, and especially employment, I would like to congratulate His Excellency, Mr. President, your government and the people of Kenya, because yesterday we visited Konza, which is the smart city, which is a vision, it's a huge vision of the government of your Excellency for the youth in the near future. It's a special economic zone that is going to generate a lot of employment. It's going to generate a lot of knowledge because of the universities that are going to train not only Kenyan young people, but also African young people, including Mozambique. Currently that we visited, Mozambique already have 65 students in Kenya. This shows clearly that for that project, you are building a Pan-African university for our young people. In Mozambique, we do have several projects for the employment of young people. Our presence here at this fourth conference of investment, International Conference for Investment in Kenya, is a concrete sign that the government of Mozambique, the government of Kenya, are working to attract investment, both foreign and national, so that we can get employment to young people. As we've heard yesterday, the investments that were announced with more than $3 billion are for areas that generate employment for young people. The area of agriculture, the area of tourism, the area of mineral resources, the area of energy, the digitalization area, transportation, logistics. So the more private investment you have in our countries, more opportunities of employment we will have for the young people. This is our vision. That's why we have accepted your invitation immediately. We want to thank the invitation by His Excellency William Ruto, my brother, because we think Kenya is in a good path and Mozambique is also in a good path. The attraction of investment and private investment is the key, so that we can have employment for our young people. Areas such as agriculture, they create massive employment. Tourism create massive employment for everyone, and we are going to work together as two sister countries in order to get employment for the young people. But we also want to talk about the experience of Mozambique. We have funds like the economic funds for local development, where the districts, they manage the funds, but the management is to allocate 60% of the funds to generate small business for local young people, and the young people, they can also employ other young people for the economic development locally. We also have another fund to support young people initiatives. There are people who have business ideas in carpentry, electricity, trade, agriculture. So this fund is there to support the young people, to make the SMEs grow, and based on that generate income and employment for the young people. We are also working in technical and professional health, professional education. At the end of each course of 3-6 months, the young person gets a kit for carpentry, for electricity, for the area connected to civil construction, and other areas for technical professional. And with this kit, that we call My Kit, My Employment, the young person can also employ other people and start their business, their micro companies that make the young people to be able to employ other young people. So we have another project with the World Bank. We call it Job Now. The objective of this project is to fund the young people. And based on this fund, the local SMEs can generate income and create employment for our young people. For our visit in Kenya, served as an exchange of experience, but also to learn. One of the things that we've seen is the way you've organized the 4th International Conference for Investment, where the $3 billion announced are going to generate more than 33,000 employment in the next 2 years. And the young people, since they are very active and they are the majority, you will employ most young people in these investments. Apart from this big city that we've seen, we are talking about the Konza, a smart city that we think it's a huge vision for the next years for employment for young people. And we would like to congratulate Your Excellency the President, the government of Kenya, especially due to this huge vision that we have to generate employment to the young people, generate income to Mozambican families, in fact, Kenyan families. And as in Mozambique, we are working for the housing for young people. And also, we've learned with Your Excellency about the big constructions that you are doing, especially social housing for the Kenyan people and social housing for the young people. We think that it's a huge initiative, and as in Mozambique, we are doing the same. We have places where we put roads, energy, water, and we will start with the construction of social housing for our young people. To conclude, going to the last question about terrorism in Mozambique, yes, we do have terrorism in the province of Cabo Delgado. The situation is currently better than it was before. Before, we had so many areas in the north of Cabo Delgado occupied by the terrorists. Now that we're talking to you, there's no city that was occupied by the terrorists. We have managed to free the cities, and currently the populations are living normally. But the terrorists, they do some attacks in some places in the district cities in the north area of Cabo Delgado, but in the cooperation with our sister countries, including Kenya, that has a huge experience in the fight against terrorism, we managed to control the situation. As a result of this control, that the project of Total restarted. As you know, it was stopped in 2021 due to terrorism. And from there onwards, the project had stopped. But because of the improvement of the situation of terrorism in the field, the project restarted. And with Kenya, we will keep cooperating in the area of defense and security in such a way that the experience of Kenya in the fight against terrorism can also be transmitted to Mozambique. And based on that, we continue to fight terrorism, which is a global problem. Terrorism is like climate change. It's a global problem. It affects all the countries, and this cooperation with Kenya is excellent, and we want to keep working so that the experience of Kenya can serve for the fight of terrorism in Mozambique. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, listening to His Excellency the President, you appreciate that he is a very persuasive person. In fact, he made a very passionate case for Mozambique yesterday in our investment conference. I was worried he might convince the investors to go to Mozambique. Have a great leader. And whatever it is that you are doing, Mr. President, in Mozambique, you have explained to us what you're doing in terms of MSMEs, trying to assist young people to do business. We call it Nyota in Kenya. Yes. We're doing exactly the same thing. And it is the right thing to do. And so, again, to say thank you very much for your visit to Kenya. We wish to keep you some more, but we know you have a job to do to our brothers and sisters in Mozambique. Therefore, we will end this session here. And thank you, everybody, for participating. Asante sana.